Hello, everyone. You're listening to Pink, Nia, and Nico on the Real Out Loud podcast. Join us as we discuss how to survive when we find ourselves reeling from life's difficult and sometimes unusual situations. Let's go and join our host. Greetings, Sanbonani. Hello, guys. How are you doing? It is your host, Pinky Nia. And as always, I never walk alone. I am with the beautiful, the elegant Nick. Hi, Nick. Did I make you blush?
I'm allowed to start with a laugh. I didn't think I'm elegant, but I thank you for the compliment. It's been a while, guys, and we are happy and excited to be back in studio to just have a discussion and a conversation with each other and with you guys as you're listening in as well. Thank you, Pinky, for the warm welcome.
Yes. And another warm welcome to the slender one, to the beautiful one. It's Lynette. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Pinky. Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much.
They just have to get used to your voice now because they're going to hear quite a lot more from you and us.
Yeah. True that.
Are you excited to be sharing with?
I am excited to be here. It's always good to learn new things. It really benefits you as a person to be a better person. So I always love such kind of talks.
Let us jump right into it, guys. Lynn, what are we talking about today?
Toxic relationships. Nothing is perfect. There's always some work to be done. But it's when the toxicity spirals out of control that the problem arises. What do you think?
All right. So we're talking about toxic relationships. Relationship is a broad word. Are we focusing on a certain type of relationship or all relationships?
Family. Let's talk about family. Because
toxic.
These are the people that no matter what you do, no matter the level of coping skills you can have, those people, they are like a tattoo. You can't easily get rid of them. They'll always be a part of you, or like a birthmark, I can say. So let's talk about toxicity in families.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Well, for me, I'll open the floor.
Okay.
For me, toxic family is when, people are holding grudges towards a certain family member and they want to pass the grudge to me. Let's say you are my sister, Pinky. You have a grudge on Lynn. And then now you want me to be part of your grudge with Lynn. When I start to befriend Lynn and have a relationship with Lynn, it doesn't sit well with you. For me, that's toxicity because you don't have to rub on whatever you feel about a certain person on me and make the other person bad. Because in as much as both of you are my family, I want to have a fair relationship and give both of you a fair chance to have a good relationship with me. So that's toxicity for me.
True that. I mean, in every relationship, we seek it to be successful in terms of, if I'm a friend with you, Nicole, I expect you to support me, make me a better person. That's a healthy relationship.
Okay.
So when there are things which probably make me feel uneasy, like you said, for example, jealousy or trying to make a grudge, extend it also to someone, then that should raise someone's eyebrows to say, is really this relationship healthy?
Exactly. Lack of support, basically. You're trying to do something and then someone just comes and they're like, do you really think you can do this? That's very undermining.
Your self-esteem even goes down.
It suffers.
And family, it's like the core foundation of who we become, the core foundation of our identity as individuals. So you can imagine coming from a family that talks down on you. Or that's less supportive.
When your parents are not sympathetic or they don't have that feeling towards you.
Definitely. You're not gonna be empathetic yourself. You're not gonna be confident in yourself.
That's true.
How do we recognize these traits, or to actually come to a point where you see this is toxic? What are the signs of toxicity?
Yes.
For me, it's lack of boundaries. Remember, we had an episode, guys, where we were talking about advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Advice.
When to give it and when not to.
Yeah.
There are family members who have an opinion for literally every single thing that's happening in your life. How you do it, how you should breathe, how you should walk, how you should sit. For me, that's a deal breaker.
That's true.
For me, it is the violence or harsh words. I'm very sensitive like violence or shouting or something like I zone out. I zone out.
What is it for you, Lynn?
I think I'll go with controlling.
Okay.
You know, there are people you have in your space which at times like suffocate the real Lynette in me. You know, so whatever I do, it's looked down upon. Of course, that's another statement. But at a controlling person, you look at a person who wants things done their way. If it's not their way, then it's not.
Some, they change the subject to turn the tables on you.
Yo, emotional blackmail. You can say that again. You know, you're trying to put a point across to a person that you wronged me, you hurt me in so many ways. But this person flips everything around. They start making it about them. Yeah. Like, if you don't want me to be a part of your life, I understand. Come on. I'm telling you how I feel.
Where are you getting this from?
Let me express myself first. I feel like I could just squeeze them and throw them down the hole.
That's moving the goalpost.
Yeah, that's true.
And then those words, witchcraft, guys. That you do.
Oh, well, those are toxic. They can be toxic in a way that we don't really see they are toxic.
Yeah.
Because how do you tell a person is a witch or they are bewitching you? You can't really tell it.
What if you dream them?
Just by merely looking at them.
Oh, you have dreams about them.
It's weird. It's strange because remember, there are a lot of theories around dreams. Like maybe things that you've been thinking about during the day.
Yeah.
You start to dream of them, or your fears, they start to project themselves in dreams. So we can't really... Witches are very difficult, toxic people to deal with. I think we'll just move away from those.
These ladies do not want to talk about it.
But the relational part of it.
They also play the blame game, always shifting the blame or something close to changing the goalpost.
Okay.
But blaming, they never take full responsibility for anything.
Yeah.
It is always someone or it is always something that pushed them to that. They never come up and say, I'm sorry I did this, or I'm the one who did this.
Sorry, guys. But for me, I feel like family members that are too dependent, they are toxic. They're toxic for me.
How?
What do you think?
How? No,
maybe
me
you can explain.
They're emotionally draining and mentally draining to be around. You know, people that are, I'm not saying dependent in terms of finances only. Okay. You know, there are some people who are very needy. Yeah. Like, generally, they are so draining in the relationship.
They need approval.
Maybe you have a phone call, you're talking about something very important, and then they just bring that neediness in them, like, right out there, and you have to deal with that. I can't do. Needy people have nothing to contribute. They're always getting and getting
and getting.
So those are the people that I'm talking about that we can have in relationships. People who always want to suck out something out of Pinky. You know, when I visit Pinky, I'm gonna benefit 1, 2, 3. When I talk to Pinky, I'm gonna benefit 1, 2, 3. But what are you bringing to the table?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
now I get it. Yeah. Now I get it.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah. And then toxic siblings, they're always siding with the parent.
Wow.
Even if we did this thing together, the moment the parents
they take the credit.
Yeah, they take the credit. Or if it's something bad, you are to blame.
Guys, we come from African environments, African societies. I've seen people who have been raised in very toxic environments. Yeah. You know, like let's say someone passes away and then you are a child. You don't have anyone looking after you anymore. And then this person sees it as an opportunity. They are opportunistic, if I can say. Yeah. They see it as an opportunity to say, okay, maybe there's some fund that's left somewhere because the parent has passed away. Let me take care of this child. Even if they are not emotionally present, even if it's not for the benefit of the child or that particular individual, they want to be part of that. So that they can always be the one on the gaining side. Yeah. So opportunists are, for me, they are very toxic people. Yeah. And it's very common in family.
Or taking the credit. I'd like to add to that point. Either they stand to gain something in terms of money or Or, in their gatherings, and then they're like, oh, this is the child that lost the parents, and this is who is staying. And they're like, yeah, I had to, no one was willing. And, like people who want to claim glory of something that is just supposed to be done.
Exactly.
They
like,
want
care
credit.
of you.
Yeah, I took care of you. They
So
want credit.
you owe
They want
me
the
now.
good name.
Yes.
Okay. So moving over, what is wrong with these toxic people? What are we saying is wrong with these
They
people?
drain you.
How do they affect us individually or as a person? How do they affect?
They affect emotionally, they affect us, or the self-esteem. A lot of us suffer from that because
Yes.
what I experienced, I left home when I was 21 or after 25. My entire life, I was at home, knowingly or unknowingly in a toxic environment.
I feel like they bring a level of fear and depression.
Okay.
I'll share an experience of my own like individual life.
All right.
There was a time when after the loss of my mom,
Yeah.
my dad had to remarry and stuff like that. And I realized that I wasn't only dealing with my own individual emotions during that process.
Yeah.
Now I was dealing with this one and that one's emotions all
All at
together.
once.
You were carrying
But
it.
when I started to separate their emotions or their perspectives of how things should have turned out or how things should go and stuff like that, I started to realize I'm actually the okay one here. But it's people who are actually burdening me with their own. That's why I was
Forcing
saying
their-
grudges.
Okay.
Grudges.
Yeah.
They want me to carry a burden that's not mine and
That's not yours,
make
yeah.
me own it.
Yeah.
So for me, it causes fear and depression. Sadness it just affects that part of a person. You can't be happy. You're always scared because you are not living in your
Second-guessing
you
yourself.
talked
Yeah.
about being your true self. You are no longer in that element
Yes.
of being the real you, but now you are living through someone else's lenses
Eyes, yeah.
of how life should go and how you should experience certain relationships with people.
True.
Imagine living a life where you don't feel like you belong,
All
or
the
where you don't
time.
feel you can't do anything right. Whatever you do, you're told it's wrong. You try to be someone else, they tell you you should behave this way. That really should be depressing, like you said.
Picking
and
the nitty-gritties
exactly.
of the things that you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're never complimented. They're always criticizing. There's never a
exactly,
compliment. You end
criticizing.
up, even at work, you find yourself second guessing a simple decision that
True.
you have to take.
Remember, we also spoke about identity.
Yes.
Sometimes as people, we can struggle to have that sense of belonging.
Yeah.
I can have a family to see I've got Pinky as my sister, I've got Lynn as my sister. But when I'm around them, like I don't feel like I've got them. I just feel like I'm just existing in their
Yes.
presence, but we are not, that connection is not there. So the disconnection can be one of the effects. Emotional, mental, physical disconnection from people can be one of the end results, or just the mere lack of identity, that lack of sense of belonging. It can come as a result
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I think
toxic
now
families.
as a grown up, we now, when you now have to visit an uncle or an aunt,
Yeah.
I mean, I do it for the sake of family, not because I want to.
You want to.
Or it's just because I have to. And every time I'm there, like, I can't wait to go
To
back.
go home. Well, for me, I do with it differently. For me, if I realize a person is toxic energy, I shut down from them, like in forms of all connections.
Okay.
Family.
We'll meet at funerals and weddings.
And
of
that
course.
time you meet,
Still you'll be in contact with
you
them.
meet them. They'll make you feel that
That
uneasy,
energy.
that energy.
So my next question will be, you have seen that this is a toxic relationship. Are we to fix it? Are we to let go? What are we supposed to do?
Remember, guys, I always say that wherever there's two people involved, there's possibility of conflict. There's possibility of having different opinions,
Yeah.
clashes, and whatnot. So the toxicity is something that we cannot undo. We just have to learn to survive it. So what is important is we have to figure out ways of finding common ground with these toxic people. If I'm relating with you, Pinky, like we are saying, I came to your house, maybe I want you to help me with a certain thing that needs family. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to carry our relationship over to now you have to visit me and sleep over.
Yeah,
because now you're bringing your negative energy in my atmosphere.
To your life, yes.
So when I like do cutoffs, remember we talked about boundaries, that those people don't have boundaries.
Yeah.
So you start to recreate the boundaries with them.
Yes.
So that you also protect your own emotions. You also protect your mental sanity. I think.
And if they're parents, how do you create the boundaries with parents?
Guys,
I was thinking one thing also that might help. I believe in second chances.
I don't.
A relationship can be, look, when you've got your parents, you can't run away from your parents.
Yeah.
These are people you stay with. One way or the other, you have to make amends. So for me, I'll try maybe to communicate.
Okay.
At times, people wouldn't know that, especially our parents, that our actions, their actions, are toxic towards us.
Yeah.
So if you try to bring light to them, talk to them, and then maybe take it from there.
Lynn, remember I told you about people who turn things around and make it about them.
You will not even, the communication will not be meaningless.
It will not work.
It will look like you're being disrespectful. You're being this. You think you're all this.
They make you feel bad for feeling bad.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, it's actually correct to do, like to actually communicate.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is, when you want to survive in toxic relationships, set rules and standards and principles
Boundaries
that protect your energy.
You.
It's not about them.
It's
about you. As an
When
individual.
you have to accept them and know them. Then you set the rules and boundaries, probably in your head or for yourself. I might not even communicate it with them, but I know this is where siblings or relatives that gossip, and they gossip about things that you know nothing of, and your name comes up in it. Then the other members start calling you. We had this. You also have to know how to deal with such.
That's
Do not
true.
come with that nonsense.
Yeah. Toxic people have a way. Remember, we said they're opportunists. They are also manipulative.
Very
true.
If we can be conscious of that. So I think the whole point in setting your rules and your boundaries, you are trying to get back your power.
It's for you. Or for you.
Because when they are making it about them, it means that they feel they are the ones who are important in the picture. So when you set rules, you are really taking back your power.
It's for you. It's
and things get worse. Things might actually get worse before they get better. Remember, when you address them, they get go for months, years, not talking to you. It's okay, guys. Let them
about you.
Let them go away and heal. No wound just heals there and then. We are not immortal beings. We are mortal beings, right? So people need time also, even with dealing with their emotions. Once you have addressed the situation, give it time. For a wound to heal, it has to hurt first. It doesn't mean you're not going to experience pain. So even with these toxic relationships, sometimes they get worse before they get better after that communication. So you need to also be open to that.
Yeah, because I think there are those... I think they are the type that I'd rather not confront it and just do something to protect myself, hence the rules and everything. Then there are those who would like to communicate the problem first before the rules, or like you said, those who believe in the second chances and everything. So talking it out, it might involve a third party, like another adult in the family who's neutral.
Like can negotiate.
Who can negotiate, who can listen to both sides of the
and
story.
have an independent view.
Yes. Then that is a form of communication. That is you reaching out saying, this is not what I liked, or this is very toxic towards me.
I want to understand something, guys. Why do we hate more because of what family does We have been in toxic relationships like friends, boyfriends, but
Like
why
I
do we
said,
hate the most? Because when it comes to family
is the first thing we knew before anything else. It's beyond that. We stayed with family before anyone else. We grew up with family before anything else. The first word was mama, daddy. That was family.
And we are raised to believe that those people need to be perfect. But in reality, are they perfect?
Not.
Yeah,
they're not.
That's true.
So I think sometimes we also have to work on our own expectations of people. Some people have had the expectations to say, because you are my father, you need to take care of me. Because you are my mother, you are supposed to love me. But the real world that we are existing in, you find that a mother can actually take a child and throw them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can try to hate the child, not want them in their space. But where is that mind coming from to say my mother is supposed to do this? It's because of what we are raised to believe. That's the standard of living, that we are raised to believe that it's correct. So sometimes I think we also need to make compromises to understand and know that you can't please people, all the people.
Yeah.
You can't please people, everyone, and everyone can't be in your corner. You always say you're not ice cream. Ne? Not everyone is gonna love you. So we need to also have that open mind to things, to say, people are gonna come through, they're gonna disappoint me, they're gonna hurt me. Have a heart of compromise. To compromise your expectation and to compromise your beliefs of how things should be.
To have that, you have to go through it first. For you to say, I need to have a heart where I don't expect much from people, you have gone through hurt. Yeah. You cannot rock up and just say, without going through it. There's this statement, they stab you at the back, but when you turn and see who puts the knife there.
Yes, that's
That's what hurts the most.
That's what hurts. So it might be family. It might be my dad. I was about to say.
And sometimes we are also very judgmental. We are not compassionate and understanding.
And sometimes we are toxic children towards our parents.
We can never always be the ones who are on the receiving end of the toxicity.
Yes.
That's why we also need to have that level of compassion and kindness for us to be able to survive the toxic relationships.
Yeah.
If you are not compassionate and kind, you are less likely to bend over in situations that need you to bend over.
Yeah, definitely.
Then in closing, what would you say, Pinky?
To people in toxic relationships.
People in toxic relations, whether they are toxic or are receiving, toxic behaviors from family members.
I would actually like to speak to the ones who are receiving.
Okay.
The ones that are toxic, I feel
it's hard for someone to admit that they themselves are toxic. Yeah.
And they might actually be enjoying it, so they might not see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
So those on the receiving end, protect yourself. Find yourself. You as a person, if it takes 5 minutes a day in your own corner, because it's not everyone who's independent to move out of the toxic home. You might still be in that toxic environment. Find something that motivates you, or your own comfort corner where you get to find yourself or be about yourself.
Nicole?
I think for me, I've got a few things to say. I think, number one, we need to understand that we can't expect change. Sometimes people are just the way they are. You can't change them.
Yeah.
We are always taught this at church to say, you can't marry someone who is abusive and say, no, I'll pray for them, they're going to change.
Yeah.
We can't change people. We just have to understand that there are certain things and certain people that we can't change. So that's one of the most important things.
Yeah.
And moving on, Pinky is talking about protecting your energy, putting the rules and the boundaries and whatnot. You need to also understand that in those relationships where they are experiencing the toxicity, you need to understand that you need to choose your battles wisely.
Yes.
It's not everything that you're supposed to engage. I always say that issue of Cinderella, to wear the shoe, try every shoe that comes.
The shoe is not for you, Cinderella.
Exactly. Know when to protect your energy because no one is gonna do that for you.
It's on you.
That's true.
It's on you. And there are people who have a victim mentality. Remember, I was talking about dependent people.
Yeah.
The reason why I just don't like dependent people, they have a victim mentality.
Yes.
And I think we need to also work on that as individuals. To say, it's not every situation that you have to always be on
Feel
the victim
attacked.
side or feel attacked. Understand people and their personalities.
True.
To know, Lynn is just someone who's overbearing with ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, you have an opinion, but this is my ground rules of how I survive or I live my life. Yes, my mother is overbearing, but I'm not going to be in a household forever, guys. I'm going to grow up, be an independent person, live my life. I'll start introducing the rules of what kind of a relationship I want with her as well to protect myself. And sometimes we complain so much about the problem and we forget to bring about the solution.
Yes.
We are complaining, Pinky this, Pinky did this to me, Pinky, 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 Pinky.
And it ends there.
It ends there. You are starting to become the victim and boring. Sorry to say this, but you're starting to be boring
Yeah.
and bitter. Exactly.
Complaining
So
always.
I think you also, as an individual, you need to learn to focus on the solutions rather than focusing on the problem. If an individual is a problem in your life, focus on what can you do to protect your energy, to protect yourself from this relationship that doesn't benefit you or help you. And the other thing that I want to speak about is sometimes we get so drained because we are surrounded by the toxicity throughout. It's like if you are in the rain, when you're in the rain, you're crying, oh my God, it's raining, it's raining, it's raining. The moment you get into the shade, you feel some sense of relief and some sense of comfort because you're no longer experiencing the same feeling you have in the rain.
In the rain.
Sometimes we come from families that are very toxic, relationships that are very toxic. But we need to remember that when we have healthier relationships on the side, they kind of come in as a point of solace, a point of comfort. To say, now I'm going to go to Lynn. I've just had to deal with my mother the whole week. At least I'm going to have lunch with Lynn. Just for that hour I'm with Lynn. I'm not focusing on how toxic my mother is. I'm not focusing on how toxic my siblings are. But we engage on a more loving platform. And I get to experience those other things that I never get to experience in my space. It kind of like gives me some sense of comfort. And last but not least, we were at church today and the pastor, our bishop, let me acknowledge him, guys. Bishop Fortune Baiwa from WCC. Hi. He mentioned something very important.
Okay.
He said sometimes we just can't forgive. What do toxic relationships need us to do? We need to learn to forgive.
Let go.
Move on. Forgive, move on. The Bible says you have to forgive what?
777
times.
Yes.
70
In
times
a
7
day.
times.
In a day.
You know, those 70s, guys, I don't know how many. Yeah, the 70s. You can't be, don't tell me you've got a book where you tick every time that you've forgiven this person. It's never enough. Even God himself, he still forgives you every day that you go until the day that you're going to die. He's going to be forgiving you. Yes. So even you as an individual, you need to develop that heart of forgiving.
Yes.
So that, you let go of certain things and you are able to focus on others.
True that. I would also think, like you said, that we shouldn't just complain, but also like seek solutions to it. You know,
okay.
At times maybe you have to learn new ways of relating to people. Learn how to make a healthy relationship. In short, that's what I can say. And I think if there need be some relationship, if you see that they cannot be fixed, let go.
Let go.
At times, there's no point of carrying everyone on your back. Just carry those that you feel are important, give you the good energy, and so forth. And then also, I'll think for those people that we're talking about, to say at times they give you like an emotional or a mental damage, to yourself as a person. It's important to find someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist or a friend or a mother. Let it out. And then also you as a person, figure yourself out. Who do I want to be? What kind of energy do I want? What kind of people do I want in my life? And with that, then you'll know who to keep close and then who to keep at a distance. So that will make you safe.
The fact that you listen to them when they say those nasty things, it means you believe them.
Yes.
You are seeing this person is toxic. Why do you put
Why
your
would I
faith and
care
your
what they
belief
say?
in them in as much as they are toxic? Now you need to also learn to detach yourself from their opinion
Whenever they're involved.
and try to rebuild a foundation of other places you can get an opinion of who you are. Like, for Christians, they use the Bible to say, I am a child of God, I'm beautiful, I'm loved,
Affirmations,
I'm
yes.
cared for, Other people, I don't know what they do in their religions, but find another place where you draw your source of strength from. You can't continue going to fetch water in a dry well and expect water to come out. That is very possible. Before we close, guys, I want to speak to people. Learn how to handle your emotions as an individual.
When it comes to
you are angry and you talk, some people, they get aggravated by talking more.
Yes.
If you get aggravated, I'm one of those people. If I talk more, I get more angry. But if I decide not to talk more or entertain the thoughts, then I start to feel better over time. Some people feel better, doing activities that allow them as an outlet of their emotions. Sometimes we get worked up about other people's personalities and what they've done to us, what they are doing to us, because we ourselves, we don't have ways to regulate our own emotions.
True.
Run, listen to music, watch comedy, watch loving things, cook, clean, do something that gives you a sense of joy, a sense of self.
And to actually add to that, you might come to realize that this person enjoys this toxic behavior, doing this toxic thing towards you because of how you react, the outbursts.
Exactly.
So if you don't give it to them,
exactly. Some people feed off your negative energy. Like
they enjoy when they see you tick, when they see you about to explode.
And let's remember, there was an episode, Pinky, where you said that the places where we come from, some people are already broken on their own.
Yes.
Their way of dealing with their brokenness is by inflicting pain on other people. So be conscious of what you react to.
Yes.
Probably you are reacting to the pain that they feel in their own instance. That has nothing to do with you.
They want to see
so
how
if you
it
develop
looks on someone
those
else.
good coping mechanisms, then you know that you're going to deal with their emotions in a different way, and it's going to help you in the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is always an utmost pleasure to know that we're just not talking to ourselves, but we're also engaging with you. We're also having a conversation with you. We'd like to take this chance, this opportunity to say we love you so much. We thank you so much for making A Real Out Loud a podcast, a place to be, something that we look forward to. Be love, spread love, enjoy love. Be kind. Hey. Check out the rest of our episodes on YouTube, Apple, and Google Podcast, or anywhere you get your podcasts. There, you'll find more topics that you or a friend will definitely be interested in. Thank you for listening.